So I just got done watching Walking Tall, and I had watched it a long time ago. I watched it honestly, I think I watched it with what's his name, a long time ago, years ago. Um but anyway, that's neither here nor there. uh that like that almost throw me off. But anyway, let me keep it moving. Let me keep moving forward. So yeah, just watching it again and actually paying attention. My youngest son, he said he wanted to watch it. That's the movie he chose. So trying to watch a movie with them, he ended up falling asleep on it. But my older son came in here and watched it with me, and so it was cool. I realized that man, he had him a stick. Sheriff, what's his name, Buford Pusser, had him a stick, honey. I'm all for having a stick, even though he's a sheriff and he can legally have weapons. Yeah. And then all the other stories and things that was, what are you in here for? Oh, but anyways, all the other things that goes along with, um, what was I about to say? I don't know, 'cause he about threw me off coming in here. So I had to pause for a quick little few seconds, 'cause he came in here. And, but yeah. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, I didn't know that the movie was based on that story, so that was kind of cool. And just seeing The Rock playing that part and stuff like that, that was real cool. But it be like that. I mean, it just reminded me that it really do be like that. The drug dealers or the money, self-made money makers or whatever, be trying to take over, and the actual people that's not trying to live like that, that's really trying to do some other stuff. Do things a legit type of way, just seem like it's less of them and more of the other ones. And I ain't gonna lie, sometimes feel like I be pulled between, but I more so feel like I be pressured. Because again, I've been around people, I've always been around people that get up, go to work, that work ethic. Wasn't doing nothing illegit. Just knew whether they knew how to manage their money that they did get, or whatever the case may be. Or, who knows? I don't say everybody does something that, they want people to turn a blind eye to. I'm gonna just say this. It's just, I guess, kind of like how people say the lesser of two evils, or, okay, that's a bad example too. um, anyway, been around people that get up, go to work, but can still have some playtime, should I say, and not feel like they just drastically struggling. Been around criminals who can make quick money, real quick, real bad, and not give a damn about who it's affecting and how it's affecting other people. Um, yeah, just weird, crazy stuff or whatever. So, that movie just brought some emotions. Just trying to stir up some type of emotions. Of course, I was already thinking about my daughter earlier, and again, I just don't know what type of stuff she's been around and what type of people that they done had her around and stuff like that, and encourage her to be around. And of course, when I was younger and I used to be over there around her so-called dad, and to me, they wasn't the worst of the worst, and they wasn't terrible people, but they were definitely people that would, have some corruption with them and some things that that honestly my so-called mom, previously known mom, she was telling me to watch out for, be careful, and this and the third, all that, whatever, and other things that went along with it, where she was telling me, be careful over there. The thing about it is, now she couldn't make me stop going over there, but she did inform me when I was in that type of environment, and that's where I be at a like, was you for me or are you against me? But I get it now, of course, that I'm a mother where you can't make your child choose. you could just train them and you can raise them up and, hope that they choose right and righteousness and stuff like that. And of course, the things that you taught them. But, I can say this. I know the stuff regarding my daughter's so-called dad. They probably do try to have a strong pull over her life and strong presence in her life, but God is stronger, and I do wholeheartedly believe that and trust that. Even though sometimes it really don't be seeming like it'd be so disappointing, like the last thing that tried to happen or whatever. And I'm still saying no weapon formed against me shall prosper. No, no weapon formed against her shall prosper. But it really tried to form and all of that, and just seemed like it prospered. But yeah, and it just goes back to the movie as well, where he was like outnumbered, especially the scene where he was getting shot at. There was a couple guys with some, them whatever them are. What are they? ARs and I don't know, them machine guns, and they were just firing at the sheriff's station, just trying to make sure that they got him. And I mean, and in real life, it would take a miracle for you to not get shot by some of them bullets, and of course end up dead. Because baby, but he used quick thinking and had a plan. He shot the hole in the floor and got down there, and whew, that was wild, man, for real. It was wild. It was dangerous. He had At least the girl came up there and she actually listened to him. She took the weapon, and when he said shoot, that's when she listened and let off. But I don't know. That's how I've somewhat felt like. Oh, you just feel I was about to say unnumbered. Sometimes you feel that too, but outnumbered, and like the bullies and the thugs and the gangs and stuff feel like they gotta take over. They gotta intimidate you. Even recently, and there be a lot of these females that really be doing it. And it be tripping me out. But it was a female cop or whatever she was. Um, um, she was arresting a man who had the walking stick in his pocket, and he asked her. He was like, "Are you a tyrant?" And she was like, "Yeah." And basically, she was telling who and what she is, and it's like. And then she proceeded to go ahead and do some crazy stuff. And of course, the people sit back and watch it, and they say things, and they put the angry emojis on the post and the status. I don't really know who or if anybody's behind the scenes actually helping to get that changed or anything. And of course, voting and all of that, but it's just like, man, I be sitting here like, Lord, why do you even allow this to go on? Why do you see this is going on? Why? I don't know that man's history, but why would you allow this man to just have a walking stick, and then these two thugs come up and just harass him, and thugs in uniforms and they just harass him? Like, either he really did something back in the day to deserve this, or he's really a good person and he really is enduring what he was showing forth that he was enduring, that he's legally blind and stuff like that. And I'm just like, man, I don't be getting it. But then I look at my situation and I look back, and I do know where, again, doors were open, where sin creeped in, and where I've done certain things that, again, that just either opened the door. It was doors open before, then I maybe went on to continue to open the door where I, tried to shut it, but, whatever the case may be. And then, not even then, but try to take a firm stand, but then feel pressured to do what the criminals do, or, be corrupt or similar to, or whatever. And that's when it's just mind boggling, because it's like, man. Anyway, like I said, just watching that movie, it just brought out some emotions that I didn't even, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting, and of course in the movies, it's always like the good guys win and stuff. For the most part, I think some movies where it appears that, maybe the good person died or didn't go on to live happily ever after. But of course with that one, it seemed like The Rock went on. He said, "This is my town," took over. But then, if you go to the story of who the movie was dedicated to in real life, they say he was drunk driving and got into an accident. I don't know what happened to his wife. Because I didn't look at it, but I did see that they said his daughter committed suicide, and then somebody said, did she commit suicide or was she suicided? Like somebody tried to do that and make it seem like, and that's just where they left it. And it's like, it's just a reminder that you just never know what kind of craziness, what kind of foolishness can pop up. And I'm the type of person where I ain't gonna say 1 minute. I don't be double minded, but I've been around so much double minded stuff, and I do know the Bible say a double minded man is unstable in all their ways, and so I just try to steer clear so I can remain stable minded, and but it does get tough when you get around somebody, and just like the Bible say, evil company or bad company corrupts good character. That shit is true. It's the truth, and that's why I was just sitting here taking a stand and just speaking boldly and with authority. Like, my daughter is not going to be on every set, and that's why I just want people to answer like without delay for even again encouraging my child to be, even though she may be all right, and I thank God for that part. But I'm saying all right, but I know it's some type of effect and effect. I'm not saying that she's infected. Let's hope not, but it's what I'm saying, of course. Been gone for a while, so but that's why I just be like, Lord, the masterminds, the people, the manipulators that even move or try to move the I don't want to call her a puzzle piece, but just maneuver things and manipulate things to keep cycles repeating. And that's just where I just kind of leave it. And because there's so much more I could say about it, and there's so much more in depth I could go. But that's why I leave it, and I just be like, Lord, before I go off the deep end, I have to submit it to you. I have to just pray about it, because it will just kind of like drive me crazy. Try to drive me crazy. And it will just, or, try to drive me to rage. Like, seriously, because it really does enrage a person like me, to where I'm like, baby, I want you dead. When you affect, what I'm saying, you try to tamper with and bother with that's one of my dear loved ones. And then it's so funny, because I didn't mean to. I thought I had her completely blocked. I don't know how she's not blocked. What the heck? That's another thing. That's crazy. But the one that I deemed as my best friend, back in the day, well, definitely now, what was it, 2019? So now it's 3 years that, not my best friend anymore or whatever. But I had put a post up in 2019, and tonight I reposted it, but I just changed it up or whatever. Just reiterating how she was my best friend and this, that, and third. And I was like, if she hadn't changed up on me, and, distance didn't have us change up, and like I literally consider her like my sister, and I appreciated her as a sister, kind of honestly closer than any relatives and stuff like that. So she did change up in 2019, and I was just like, it's not good, girl. And so, don't make me hate her or anything like that. It just made me, okay, I see you for what you wanted to show me that you was, and I do ask God to hold her accountable. But I had clicked on the post, and I guess I had tagged her, and I actually clicked on there, and I seen her face. I hurried up and clicked off, because I really don't care for her. I don't want to have no type of compassion or care or concern towards her, or even think or reminisce on the past. It is what it is. But I clicked on that. That was kind of weird for a sec. But yeah, I just be wanting them held accountable, because I just be like, not my child. For one, it was when I was 17, had the abortion and all. I didn't went over that whole thing before, but had the abortion. Somebody come in there and make sure that I got that it was done. Then after the abortion, I'm shedding blood, my uterus lining and stuff shedding again. And again, just never know what else could have been affected with that. And again, that was three main people, of course, that I know of. I don't know who it could have been in the background, still trying to manipulate or change something up. Of course, I linked up or I ran into my so-called dad. Not ran into, but I was around my so-called dad some years ago. He was like, oh, yeah, if I would have been around, I wouldn't have basically enforced an abortion or whatever. But that's the thing. If you wasn't around and you wasn't, you wasn't present, then, it's really no need to say what you would have or what you would or would not have done because you wasn't present. You wasn't present to make that decision. So of course I hold the ones accountable that was present to make the decision, but I do hold the ones that was absent that may have made somebody feel pressured to. I'm just not stupid. Like, I know now that, yeah, a decision maker doing this, but you don't know what kind of pressure or stress or strain that they're under. So that be me trying to get a benefit of doubt. At the same time, God might measure both of them equally. It's like, well, either way it go, they was the decision makers, and they made that decision, and it has certain consequences. But yeah, just like I said, it really has affected me that my child been in a whole different environment, and she doesn't be encouraged to be in this environment. And I don't know, I don't necessarily think she feels scared to, but I don't know what it is. Just never know. I haven't seen what her eyes have seen. I don't know, like she knows and things like that. But for whatever reason, it don't seem that she's encouraged to be around us, and we are actual loved ones and family, if you ask me. And we actually love her and care for her, and some I feel like, yeah, I didn't know the best things for her by myself and stuff like that, because I felt like, okay, I'm not the only one that that had you, that got you here, so it's not really meant for me to know. But once we do come across that, then I'd be like, okay, we can apply that. But even now, things have just gotten so discombobulated that I don't know, and I don't feel like I even have the slightest clue. What I do know is that I know the one that knows what's best for her, that knows, her purpose, that knows her better than I know her, that knows, so I just leave it at that, and that's how I operate. But, and oh my goodness, I was watching a YouTuber tonight, and there was this girl on there, and she was like, oh yeah, she was picking from some dudes or whatever, I guess, to go on a date or do whatever with, who knows, but she was like, yeah, who's the one that has on there God first? She was like, oh yeah, we need to get rid of him because he needs to. She said, oh my gosh, it was funny, but it's not. She said he needs to grow up. Like, what? Like, she said he needs to grow up and stop playing. And I'm like, wait, what? Even the dude who was hosting the show, he was like, wait, what? You don't believe in? And he said Jesus, but he was basically like asking, you're not a believer? Like, he was kind of shocked too, and I'm just like, boy, you out here. One thing about it though, for him, he calls himself a Jesus freak, and I'm not gonna take that away from him as far as him considering himself a believer with that. But I don't know, that Jesus freak just kind of throws me off. I don't. It just. Anyway, this is not about that, but that was just funny, honey. She just said that, just lets you know that those type of spirits is just out. They just flat out letting you know this is what it is. I'm not for all that. You know what you gonna do with it. I'm leaving. Get away from it. Far away from it. But yeah. So yeah. It just still bothers me, irks me that my child have been, and I'm not gonna say she been everywhere, but I don't know. But been in different places that I would not approve of, and this stuff have been going on for a while, where people try to encourage my child to do things that I wouldn't approve of, and just to spite me, and to, oh well, this, what I'm saying, this not your mom's residence, and this, I'm just like, oh Lord. And I get it, everybody not gonna do things the same way, but people that will respect you, they will honor your wishes when it comes to your kids. And so that's that. So of course it's just been disrespect, disregard, and kind of worse because people just, that's just how they be rolling. That's how they get down. But that's pretty much all I gotta say about this matter. It's just how that movie just took me to different places and different thoughts, and the fact that I actually paid attention this time and actually wanted to try to do some research afterwards, and just the reminder that it was The Rock and the Johnny Knoxville dude. I don't forgot their names in the movie, but and they were just outnumbered. And then the girl who was dancing and stripping, kind of degrading herself, and then she realized that it was him, and she was kind of embarrassed. He didn't care. He didn't want her to be embarrassed or ashamed. And he didn't make her quit. She ended up quitting. Like, it just made me feel like if only things could happen like that, back to back to back to back, similar to how it happens in the movies. Minus all the shooting and bullet holes in there and all that narrowly escaping danger. And then when you turn the corner again, there's another type, enemy type, or villain type. It would be great. But either way it go, however it go, I don't want to say either way it go because it only needs to go one way, and that's just it. God wins. But that's like I was taught, and I believe, and I agree with. It's a fixed fight. So that's why I'm just like, to God be all the glory. Period. Period. I don't want to say period, but that's on that. That's that on that. So I'm just still trusting him. I do. I think I feel a type of way because I did miss the conference call. I feel like I would have got some good information, some valuable information. I'm not gonna dwell on it. It is what it is. I was asleep. I was still getting downloads. Like, God was still speaking to me, and I don't want to downplay how He speaks to me. It's just sometimes just tough to interpret it and understand it. Whereas, the one who delivers these types of messages, she's saying it straight out and just saying exactly, what God is giving to her, um, and then, just carrying on, continuing on, and just be flowing. And I love that. But like I said, God be flowing regarding me as well. I don't know. I don't feel deeply discouraged these days. I actually feel good, and I'm thankful for that. But it just feels like, like, because of the changes and stuff that's taking place, just feels like, sometimes it feels like I'm weakened or at a weaker place. And I don't know if my feelings indicating that actually mean that, that's the second place. Anyway, we got this rain coming up and stuff from Florida. I see how it did tear the coastline and stuff off. Well, Daytona. But we got rains coming, which of course I enjoy the rain. Of course, when it rain and rain hard like that, baby, you already know when I'm sleep gonna come. Good sleep gonna come. But definitely try to get up and moving around because it's something that I wanted to do earlier today that I did not do. Probably a couple of things like wash some white clothes, and there's a few dishes in the sink. I need to wash them, and then I need to plan on doing something else. Which that's the one thing I am happier about because I am getting things done where I usually had to feel like a spark ignited. I don't feel rushed or pressure or anything, but I do still feel like I need to get it done, and I do still feel like it needs to be a timely fashion, but I do feel like, okay, I can go at my pace, and it feels so much better to be able to go at I don't want to say a slower pace, but a more steady pace, and more, not feeling like, I got that fan blowing, and I got my heated blanket on, so that's why I'm feeling all relaxed and stuff. Oh, it feels amazing. I got my massage pad over there, and my son asked me, was it plugged up? I should plug that bad boy up. And yeah, it just makes the noises and just be getting on my nerves. But it's heated as well, so I might use it, especially since I haven't been able to use my jacuzzi. So we shall see. And I thought one of my worst fears was on the horizon today, but turned out it was like a false type of alarm. But I don't know if that means you need to be preparing. But like I say, God be in the midst. God be with me. Lord knows what I'm annoyed by and what's bothersome to me. And I be trying to make sure, I do be trying to ensure that I don't lose it and just go out there. I literally go out there and try to hurt somebody and worse because you mad because basically my own so-called dad didn't provide a certain type of lifestyle for me. And I mean, because that's, to me, that's what it boils down to. Because again, just mentioning earlier that he was he was the absent parent. Oh, if I would have been there, then I wouldn't have. Okay, well, you wasn't. Missed that opportunity. And then not only was you not there, you wasn't there for a whole bunch of stuff. And I don't be mad at him. I don't feel mad at him about that. I just feel like, damn, it is what it is. You chose what you chose, and you didn't have to choose me. Then I'd be around other people that I at least be seemingly choosing their I'm gonna say daughters, yeah, maybe even their, I don't know, maybe their sons too, but daughters and stuff. And for example, seemingly about my daughter's so-called dad, seemed like okay, I'm choosing to be present, although I know, which he ain't never really been out of her life, but he still have been at a distance as well. Um, at times, even when he was supposed to, or she's supposed to have been going over in his vicinity when she was younger, he would just put her off on his mom. So that's not raising your child. That's putting her off on your mom, and that's really, it was disrespecting me then too. But anyway, I'm not gonna go deep on that. But me having to feeling like I had to get my mind to watch my daughter, or that's the daycare she goes to, because I had to work, or that's what I was told and taught, that I'm supposed to work. That's why my so-called mom was utilized, or whoever, I could, and really my grandma when she was living, whoever I could get to help me. But other than that, it wasn't just because I wanted to run the streets or anything like that. Now, granted, I know he felt like he had to make money, but it was just, I don't know, it was so much. It was confusion. It was a mess. It was just, ugh. It was just a terror. And that's one thing about it. I don't want my children, none of my children, any of my children to grow up and be terrorists, or have terroristic traits or anything, because of what us as the parents, or so-called parents or whatever. But that's why I do best. God hold me accountable. It really feels tough sometimes, because I just be wanting to be like, Lord, just relieve me of all responsibility when it comes to that, because I ain't do it. But I don't know, I'm just a woman about myself, and I just want to keep it real. I'm at a place where I do want to keep it real with myself and be like, Lord, hold me accountable. And again, and me as a believer, when judgment starts in the house of God, and when he starts his accountability in his house, the ones that belong to him, yeah, it don't necessarily supposed to feel good, if at all. So that's that. That's where I be hung up. Like, is it supposed to feel good at all? But and I do have those feel good and feel great moments, honestly. But it's like, it's just moments. It's not right. It's not fair. But But then, yeah, and it's not that I want to shift blame, but I just be like, Lord, you know good and well, I done laid down with this dude, and God seen it from the beginning, how it happened, what happened, who approached who, and all that, and who came at who with certain intentions and whatever, because literally I was not even thinking about this dude, like I didn't even know he existed, had been around him and still didn't know he existed. Had crossed paths with him when I was younger and didn't know he existed. He crossed paths with me and he didn't Of course, he was wrapped up in, I guess, grief at the time or whatever it was that he was grief. It could have been guilt as well. Shit, I don't know, but I don't know. And I guess he didn't know I existed, but then I did. Like I said, I can look back and I can trace at least those two things, to where it's like, oh, now today I can see, dang, this is who he is, but then I feel like he was a totally different person back then as well. But maybe it's just always been in him to be who he is, or who he to me, who sometimes who I see God show me, or oftentimes who God shows me that he is. But anyway, like I said, I don't want to go on and on about that, because that right there is not significant to me. Like, it's good to note and know, but that's not significant. But just continuously pray on my daughter's protection, and I don't even know. I really don't even know how to pray for her, or what. Not, I ain't gonna say not how to pray for her. I know how. I know how to. I know that my prayer life is activated anyway, and I know how to flow. That's what I should say. But as far as I don't know what to pray for her, and I don't want to ask amiss. Yeah, God knows my heart desires. Like, I want God's best for my daughter. If I could say that about a man or a male that I cared for, and that's what I desired for him, was genuine, I want God's best. But I don't know what God's best looks like for my child, because God's best sometimes is just to it's to wake you up and get you away from material things and other stuff that could, cause you to drift from Him. Then you know what I'm saying. Of course, when you accustomed to those things, well, I mean, if she's like me or similar to me, she's able to lose, or I don't want to say lose like a loser, but like, have to sacrifice some things or give up some things, and still be okay, still be sane and sound minded. And also, not just giving up things, but allow God to replace and give you something new or something different. And you be able to appreciate certain other things in a different type of manner. Maybe she might be able to do it better than me. I don't know. Honestly, she knows how to draw. Maybe art and drawing and stuff could soothe her. And I'm just using this as an example. And I know people don't want to give up their phones just to. Well, some people probably don't mind, but don't want to necessarily give up their electronics to write on a piece of paper or draw on a piece of paper. But that could be something that. And there's other things about her that I know that she can do, and it can keep her occupied. But I don't know. And thank God I don't feel like anything deeply foul. I don't feel. That don't mean that it hasn't been, but I don't feel like anything deeply foul has been done. But it's hard for me to get away from the fact that things have been done to affect her in a different type of way, and it was to spite me as well. And it's like, it's not only have you did these things anyway to spite me, but you have affected her. And now that is, to me, that's the foul part, because when you do something to these children, and try to cause them to stumble and things like that, it's a problem. God has a problem with that. I believe God has a problem with that. But like I said, before I go off the deep end, because I can look at it too as if, okay, this child was maybe never supposed to be here, or again in that form or whatever. And so, God is already being merciful by allowing the child to be here. So you really can't complain or ask for anything more. That's how I be feeling. So anyway, try not to let my feelings dictate. Yes, I do let them indicate, but I don't try to let them dictate, you know, what's real and what's true. And honestly, I'm glad I said that, because yes, the Holy Spirit, and what I said before, I said I was gonna start saying Ruach HaKodesh. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, and I do pray that God correct my tongue, but that He leads me into all truth, because I don't want to be misled. I don't want to be deceived. And even when I say that, sometimes that's hard for me, because sometimes when your eyes, or oftentimes when your eyes open to the truth, you just be like, ugh. It sometimes it be one of them ugly truths that you might not want to receive, be ready to receive, or anything like that. So it's like, oh my gosh. And I really am protective of myself when it comes to that. Like, I almost feel like I'm protective of myself when it comes to that, like no other. And again, if my daughter is anything like me or like that, she would be protective of herself too when it comes to a whole lot of stuff. Like, you don't even, to the point where you just don't even want to be exposed to it, because sometimes you might not want to face, because you don't want to face the truth of the matter, but also you just don't want to be exposed to it. You don't want to have to be responsible or liable for any of that. But I mean, what's gonna come across your path, and for you to meant for you to know, you gonna at least cross the path. As far as, are you gonna know and retain the knowledge and understand and all that, I guess that's, it's all in how you perceive it and comprehend it and what you want to do with it. But I said I was getting off of here a while ago, but yep. But anyway, in this meantime, I miss my child. I'm glad that I was able to sit in here with my boys and spend some time. I almost wanted them to sleep in here with me, but no, they had to get on and go because I really wanted to make my video in private, and I didn't want to disrupt them because I would be talking and stuff like that. And really, my voice might be sometimes soothing to them, so they probably could have slept right through it. But I just still, I don't know, I value my time to myself. Only person that I wanted to be close with like that is my spouse, and I wanted to just be all up under them. But now, even that I'm not with another person physically, I really be embracing. I was gonna say I love it, but I really be embracing it because, baby, them years that I was trying to be all up under, oh, what's his name, or let him be up under me. Oh my goodness, it was nerve wracking. It was like, I mean, it was fine. I had my happy moments and stuff like that, but it was nerve wracking. It was definitely, my sleep was always interrupted. So if I even thought I was gonna get me some good night's sleep, baby, I was up. I was definitely what you call woke, team woke. Because my doorbell was going to ring at 3 o'clock. And when I said I'm not going to reminisce on stuff, I'm not really trying to reminisce, but my doorbell ringing could be 3, 2, 1 in the morning, whatever, and startled up out of my sleep. A lot of times I was already emailing him and talking to him, but sometimes I be just dozing off, closing my eyes, and next thing I know, my doorbell, baby, till this day. I don't even play them type of games regarding my doorbell no more. Cause my doorbell rung so much over that decade from 2010 until, or 11 until 2018, 17 really, but some in 18. Boy, I was like, wait a minute. Now wait a minute. Now hold up, wait a minute. But no. And then, but I mean, again, some of it was, I don't know if I could call it good, but some of it was definitely beneficial to me, and I didn't even know it. But it was some tough. That was some tough time. That was me actually doing time with somebody, and I didn't even realize. Like, and just looking back, it was like that was a little bit of some hard time. But anywho, when I was in it and going through it, it didn't feel the worst. So I was like, now I had some of them feeling the worst type moments, but it just didn't feel the worst because I felt happy with him or around him at times. I really did. I gotta be honest and have to be real. Even though he was like a harsh type of person, or he had some stuff, and then he would say little stuff like if if I don't know if he said, he always referred to himself as daddy, but if if one ain't happy, then ain't nobody gonna be happy or something like that. I don't know. And so whatever was within him, he wasn't happy, and he don't want no. Then he even came and told me, "You don't want me to be happy," and I'm just sitting here like, what? I'm almost sick with it. Like, huh? What you mean? What you mean? But then I start looking back and I'd be like, you know what? If you were supposed to be with somebody else, then hell no. I want you to, nah. I'm not that type of person at all to want somebody to be miserable. I more so didn't want to hurt or feel the disappointment and stuff like that of me not being able to be around that person and stuff like that. Other than that, just because you wasn't around me, I really just endured and cried and all that, whatever, whatever. And and I'm talking tonight, ain't it? But I I just dealt with it, cried my tears. Of course, I stayed prayed up, but cried my tears, felt my disappointment and stuff like that, and just look back and wish that I could have responded differently, like not even said anything much to him. I did a whole lot of praying, but even if I could have just been doing something else, something different, if I felt like I had the strength to do something different, even spending more time with my kids, you know, during those times when I was hurt and disappointed. Because I really do have a tendency of like, when I'm upset and frustrated, I don't really get closer to my kids. And I always think to myself, hey, even when I'm hurting and this and the third, I should still get close to my kids. I do try not to push them away, but I tend to tell them, okay, you got to go. Y'all got to get out my room. But I try not to do it in a harsh way. And I just try to explain to them, I'm not feeling so good right now. So please just leave me alone. I don't really say it like that, but just let me be. Just let me chill. And, you know, they usually respect it because they usually playing their game anyway. But I see, that's the crazy thing is I'm still their mom in those moments. And so I don't want them to feel deprived of me. Like, dang, you know, we can't access mom. She feeling a type of way. You know, it's just kind of like a setup type thing where it just don't feel fair, seem fair. But anyway, those days are gone when my doorbell's not ringing like where somebody's like a maniac type. For one, you gave you the key and stuff like that, and then you chose to keep ringing the doorbell. I get it now. Waking up out my sleep and my slumber, my daughter got to the point she was like, "Mom, can you tell him to stop ringing the doorbell like that? I be trying to sleep and I gotta go to school." And I respected that. And then granted that my child need to be, I feel like my child could sleep over here because she was safe and this, that, and the third. But do my child need to be alert and know what's going on and be woke up as well? Yep. Yep. But, I don't know. I'm going to just leave it right there. That movie just actually just, I don't know, put some different perspectives on some stuff. Still reminded me of the corruption that's in this world and that people really literally choose to be evil and come against people. Then the part when he stood in the courthouse and he actually showed the scars and stuff on his torso and stuff like that, and the jury seen that and they actually it was the judge got upset, like, yeah, I order y'all to ignore what he just showed you. Like, what? So we need to unsee what he showed us? Because he was letting it be known that this is what happens to people, and he didn't want that to keep happening to anybody. And then, and then when the judge was like, all of y'all will be charged with contempt of court or something like that. I'm like, what? Just trying to use them intimidation tactics and stuff like that. But anyway, The Rock, like I said, I forgot his name in the movie, but he ended up coming out triumphantly. Speaking of that one. But anyway, he ended up coming out triumphantly during that trial and stuff, and even better with being able to be the sheriff and basically, yeah, taking the town back and trying to get it started going back on the right path of not being corrupt. So that's how I used to wish and hope and feel like things. It wasn't even wishing and hoping. I was definitely praying and trusting God. That's what I was believing that I would be seeing. Like, okay, less corruption, this, that, and the third. Nowadays I just feel like corruption is just running rampant. And every day you turn on the news and you see something, you're going to see something corrupt. You're going to see these cops and stuff harassing people with walking sticks and this, that, and the third. But then I be thinking, well, damn, did that person deserve it? Did that person used to do something and harass people when they was younger, and now that they're older and they, you know, they just kind of got caught lacking at this point? What? That's how my mind be thinking, so I don't know. But, okay, I'm off this thing because I will keep going the way I'm feeling, I'm so relaxed. I got my blanket on, I got my fan on, and just feeling good. So, the one thing about it, I am gonna be sleeping good because of that rain. Hopefully, I can interpret my dream, but hopefully, I'll definitely dream. I actually had a dream where I was like running from different enemy types. I don't know. Black Table that I just put out the other day. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back and read it when I get off of here. And what else? 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 That's pretty much it. Let me get off here.